YouTube viewers, this is Mr. Epic 115, and I'm here with my first top 10 video. First, I want to note that I know I have a terrible speaking voice. Wait, speaking voice? That doesn't really make any sense. But anyway, yeah, I don't have the best voice to be speaking in videos. But anyway, here we go. Top 10 fails in gaming. This list is going to be slightly opinionated, but also I'm looking at some numbers too of how bad stuff failed and stuff like that. So let's go. Number 10, Steam servers. Now this one is pretty much opinionated, but I'm sure most people can agree with me on this one, because Steam, its servers are pretty crappy. Like every time, well, not every time, but half the time when I'm trying to trade with someone, it doesn't work. And this happens way too often. I mean, it's pretty bad, and it's not just trading either. It's other stuff, but sometimes it's just a complete shutdown too, like of servers. Because I remember this past winter of 2013, for some reason I can't think today. Around Christmas time, it was really bad. I mean, trade servers went down for a while, and everything was so slow. And that's pretty bad, because that's really the most popular time in games like Team Fortress 2, which is where the majority of trading occurs, I would say. So, yeah, Steam servers. Number 9, Sega versus Nintendo. And it's not exactly just Nintendo, but they're the main competitor against Sega. And I don't necessarily have anything against Sega. And I don't think they're complete failures, because they're not. I mean, they have some good games, and they're still around. It's just that when it came down to it, Nintendo just, they had better games. I mean, just flat out better games. I mean, you know, Pokemon, Mario, that kind of stuff. It's just Sega, they really couldn't stand up against them. I mean, Sega had Sonic. That's really their main front runner, but it's just the games were so more appealing on Nintendo, to me. I mean, that's my opinion. It's most of the world's opinion, I would say. It's just, they couldn't quite keep up to par with Nintendo on games. And, Sega Genesis, one thing I would like to talk about this is that I do think that the Sega Genesis looks better than the Super Nintendo. So, like, I mean, doesn't really have much to do with failing, but I would just like to point out that I do think Sega consoles look better than Nintendo consoles. Definitely do. Because I own a Sega Genesis and a Super Nintendo. And, like I said, the games are just so much better on the Super Nintendo. But the Sega Genesis looks better. Okay. The Dreamcast, also. It had a lot of competition with the Nintendo 64 and the PlayStation 1. Now, it was a very innovative console, but once again, it just came down to the fact that the games were not that good. And yeah, why the heck is this slide here? I guess because, yeah, oh my gosh, I did this completely wrong. Who cares? Okay, number 8. Yeah, this is really just a jumbled mess right now, but hopefully it will give some comedy relief. Okay, number 8, Atari versus Nintendo and other companies. Now, Atari, I don't really play many Atari games. I mean, I play Arma some, and I have an Atari Flashback, but I really don't play it that much. And, yeah, Atari just didn't have as good games as Nintendo. I mean, they had good success in their early days with the 2600 and, you know, that stuff. But the Jaguar, oh my gosh. I mean, it boasted being a 64-bit system, and that's pretty cool because it was innovative. But the controller was bullcrap. I mean, look at that thing. Who would want to use that? I honestly think if I took that into school, I could pass that off as a freaking calculator. I mean, really. Who wants to use this? I know I do not want to use this controller, so, well, I hope I do buy an Atari Jaguar someday, but, yeah. Just so I can have it in my collection. Number 7, the Panasonic 3DO. This system it basically just looks kind of like a square. Well, not a square, more of a rectangle. But yeah, I've actually never owned one of these, so I really can't say too much about them. But I know that it only sold 2 million units, and that's really pretty bad. I mean, judging to the sales of like today's stuff, like the Wii has like 100 million sales or something like that. And it did have some good games though. Like I think it had Wing Commander and Wolfenstein, stuff like that. Uh, Number 6 is the Philips CDI. I've never owned one of these either, but once again, it's kind of just a generic looking console. It was released in 1991, I believe, and the CDI only sold about 1 million units. I mean, it didn't have good games, you know? And the controller, kind of like the Jaguar, not in, like, the way it looks, but I just mean, like, that's a pretty crazy controller. Yeah. Not nearly as bad as the Jaguar, but still pretty weird. Number 5, the Nintendo Virtual Boy. Yeah. Looks pretty awesome. But no, it is definitely not. It's just, it would hurt your head after long use. I mean, yeah. Look at that. How would you like to look at that for hours on end? I know I would not. It would be pretty bad. And yeah, it only sold about 775,000 units, which is pretty bad. And it had a few games that were kind of well known, like Mario Tennis, and it also had WarioWare, I believe. Okay, number 4, the Nintendo 64 disk drive. Yep, I kind of wish I owned one of these. It was released in 1995, and it was discontinued 1 year later because just no one bought it. It was only released in Japan, and it only sold about 15,000 units. It had a few, like, kind of strange games, like Mario Artist. I mean, maybe it was kind of like the Mario Paint on the Super Nintendo. And also had an F-Zero expansion kit. That was probably pretty cool. And a few things that were meant to come out on it but didn't were a Pokemon Stadium expansion kit and Super Mario 64 2, which that is pretty cool. I'll probably talk about that in another video. Now it's down to the top 3. Yes, that was very crappy. I'm sorry, people. Number 3, the Red Ring. Yes. This comes above other stuff just because it didn't necessarily only affect the gaming company. This affects people every day, and this is inflicted, it's happened on thousands of consoles. People have had to spend money to get them repaired, stuff like that. I know there's temporary fixes for most of the stuff that happens to them, but mine recently red ringed, and yeah, I couldn't fix it. Yeah, just my luck. Yeah. So yeah, the red ring, it's pretty bad. It's a pretty big fail. They really should have tested this more before they put the game console on the market, because I mean, it's just really affected a lot of people. Number 2 is E.T. the Extraterrestrial on the Atari 2600. It was released in 1982, and this is widely considered the worst game of all time. Yeah, I've seen some gameplay of it, and it looks pretty bad even to be on the Atari 2600. Yeah, apparently they lost about $75 million due to this failure, because they made so many of them thinking it would be a huge success because of the movie, but no, it wasn't. And because of this, supposedly millions of the unsold units were dumped into a landfill in New Mexico. And yeah, that's pretty bad if you have to dump millions of your game into a landfill just because it sucks. And now, it's time for number 1. But first, let's do a recap. Number 10 was Steam servers. Number 9 was Sega versus Nintendo. Number 8, for some reason I cannot count today either, people. Number 8 was Atari versus Nintendo. Number 7 was the 3DO. Number 6 was the CDI. Number 5 was the Nintendo Virtual Boy. Number 4 was the Nintendo 64 disk drive. Number 3 was the Red Ring. And number 2 was E.T. the Extraterrestrial. So now, let's go to number 1. Number 1. PlayStation Network gets hacked. Yes. Y'all remember this, I'm sure. In April of 2011, PlayStation Network was breached by hackers. Yeah. Pretty bad. And supposedly about 77 million accounts were breached. That is a whole lot. And almost 10,000 credit card numbers were stolen. Yeah. The reason this is number 1 is because it also cost them about $170 million. But that's not even really the main reason, even though it cost them like more than pretty much any other thing on this list. It's because I think it really made people think that gaming online is not completely safe. And I know people already thought that a little bit before, but I mean, this really showed people that it is dangerous to do online gaming. I mean, it doesn't really deter me from doing online gaming. But, I mean, with people getting credit card numbers stolen, emails hacked into, I mean, it was really just a complete fail by PlayStation. I mean, people lost their peace of mind being on PlayStation Network. And this isn't the only time it's been hacked either. I mean, this was the major time it's been hacked, but I think it was hacked shortly after that, or something like that. I don't even completely remember. I know it went down for a while shortly after that, but I don't think that's what I'm thinking about. But yeah, thank you all for watching. I know I pretty much suck at commentating on stuff, but yeah, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video, which I think will be Sid Meier's Civilization 3 gameplay part 2, because I haven't filmed that for some reason. I still have the first part as my only gaming video. So yeah, I'll see you all next time on Mr. Epic 115 Gaming.